Well, there we go. Abracadabra, and we're on, I think. Did it go live?
Yep.
Yeah, said it.
Good. It does say it, doesn't it? Well, good. Hi. So we have a wonderful crowd of people today. Our normal three people aren't here, but we have three people now. So Chris unfortunately can't be here. Chris is got other things going on. Hopefully he might be able to make it later. Jeff is now starting to replace Chris. So when Jeff can make it, he'll be in. Jack unfortunately said he's sorry he can't be here. So just last minute situations occur. Hey, that's fine. But we have Denise and Ron here, so we're good. We'll be able to chat with you, answer any questions you have right now. I don't even know if we did a stream to our Facebook, but who cares? We'll have fun for an hour. And if people want to watch now, watch later, they can. Don't care. It'll be fun.
A lot of them usually do later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually what we do.
It's
Yeah.
streaming live on the Paranormal Pride page
Okay.
and Facebook and on YouTube. So anybody out there that has any questions, make sure you ask. Maybe I'll answer them today. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Or save them for you and you collect them and just kind of later on say something. Whatever works, right? So we don't have any big topics going on. I will say I am wearing my Waverly shirt. We've talked about Waverly before. But next weekend I will be going to the old hospital again in Arkansas. I was there 2 weeks ago. Had a strange situation occur. And maybe with your experiences, you could kind of point me in a direction to try to debunk it. So, two things happened there that were interesting. One of my friends was up there in his group with a spirit box. He was walking. Actually, he was down in the morgue, and he's walking around the basement, and it said Jeep, and then it said, he said, "What do you want with Jeep?" And it said, "Hang." So I go down in the morgue and I start saying, "Hey, I'm here. What do you need? What is it you want?" All of a sudden, out of nowhere, all our EMF stuff went crazy. Like everything just went nuts, lit up everywhere.
Wow.
And we had the paralight going off. We had, of course, it was most EMF things. EMF, of course, is a very tough thing to really justify from a paranormal standpoint if you have just EMF stuff. But that was the primary one. Tri-field meter I had was going off too. But the paralight, the K2, the tripwire, we had all those things just would not stop. Now, outside on the other side of the hall was a fuse box. And with my tri-field meter, it got up to 67.
Is there power in this hospital?
No.
Yeah, see, now that's...
But there could be a low level of electricity going through the unshielded wires, like at the Sally house, but there was electricity there. But I've seen that happen.
But you said everything went off all at once.
Yeah, it's all going crazy. Not just like a second or two, it's doing it for a long time. Right. And because the patterns happen all the time, like Denise said, I kind of say, okay, could it be that box? Because downstairs they usually do like a haunted house thing or used to. So I think there's power connection somewhere. So that kind of made sense to me. But then it just stopped. There was no switch that we heard electrically. There was no turn off of it.
Did you check the box again?
No, I did not. That's what I should do.
That's what I would do, because you know how the flashlight trick works?
Yeah.
It builds up a charge and then it comes on and then it goes down.
Yep.
Could be the same thing with that.
Yeah, but the timing is what is kind of telling me that there might have been something to that.
Right, but you've got to check all your other things too to see, does it happen again? Right. Did you guys write down the time that it happened and all that other stuff so that you can go back, and since you're going back, you can do that.
Yep.
You can do, a couple walkthroughs in that area.
Yeah.
If you're going back, I kind of do the same thing you did before.
Yeah.
And you should get another response.
I would think the same. I think the same. We had an interesting situation occur. It was 2 or 3 years ago with the paranormal group I'm with. We were downstairs and I was guiding a group through the tour. And then one of our co-founders is a medium. And she said, "This person knows you." And I said, "Really? Then it's probably Ed," which I've talked to this. I got the equipment to respond when I felt like it was his name, communicated with it for a while and said, okay. And I just called it Ed because, that's the one it's responding to. I'll call it that name. So she said that. And then I said, oh, okay. And here we are with our guests. And she said, no, this is not what it's making itself to be. And I went, really? She said, yeah. So I escorted them out. So I thought maybe there was some kind of psychosomatics because I'm back in the same area. I'm back in that same place where it felt dark. And then all the energy lit up. What's also interesting, again, it's easy to lead down the wrong path. It's easy to go right to that paranormal realm.
Right.
But that area never. Now the whole area didn't read 67 everywhere. Of course, it got different places. It would be different ways. Right. We said, "Can you back away?" Over and over again. It never did. So I immediately said, "It's got to be EMF," but then it just stopped. And I need to remember next time, even if we don't do it at the same time, if it does that, I need to go back to that fuse box and
go. You need to go back a few times and see. The other thing is what is the building material? Is there marble or granite or limestone in the building?
Yeah, it could be.
If you remember the questions you asked.
Basically I was asking it. Yeah, I was asking it. Well, we have it on audio so I can listen to it.
And when you go back, do it 2 or 3 times. Ask the same questions and see if you get any kind of response too.
Well, the questions I mainly asked over and over, I need to listen to what the other people said, but the questions I mainly asked were about me. What is it about me? What do you need to talk to me about? Because I wanted to understand what the heck what are you saying?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You need to think about this when you're there.
Yeah.
Was it a spirit that was with you anyway?
True.
Could it have been somebody from your life?
Could have.
Yeah.
That's following you in death because you went to a haunted location.
Right.
You wanted to talk to spirits, and this is when they could come out and talk to you.
Yeah, it's true.
People need to keep that in mind.
That did happen.
It's not always the haunting
of
the location.
Yeah.
Any place that you go to and your mind says this is haunted. Yeah. You could be talking to your own family members and not even know it.
Yeah.
And they'll answer to anything because they want to talk.
Yeah. When we were tour guides at Sally House for 7 years, we actually did see that. We actually have proof of that. Oh yeah. People brought, it was their own spirits.
Yeah.
And it was by accident. We found out the first time.
Yeah.
We weren't even tour guides that time.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. We were just there.
We
were just there with, we had paid to go in. We were just visitors like everybody else. And this lady asked me if I could use my dowsing rods to answer her questions because she was afraid to. And so, and at the time, dowsing rods were new to me and fun. And, okay.
My mom thought we had a show. I was like,
uh-oh. No, wrong one.
On her Facebook. There we go.
Yeah, I think we'd sent her a link.
Yeah, I put a link on my Facebook.
So she thought we were doing a show.
So,
gotcha.
But yeah, we did that with, coming from you.
That's right.
I wrote it on her Facebook and he's like, why would you write that? Because it's to your mom. But yeah, I mean, this lady, she had to pull the plug on her dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was really sad. But we didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We didn't know who they were. And so she's asking all these questions to try to determine who we were talking to. And all the answers were yes or no, as they were supposed to be. But I didn't know what they were. So, I mean, I couldn't have made it go. And she goes, okay, now that I know that this is who it is, she goes, tell her, yes, she does. It's on my Facebook. So, so I sat there and I did all this and she goes, are you mad because I had to pull the plug? And he said, no, he understood. And she walked out of there crying. It was her birthday and everything. So she was just terrified that she had done the wrong thing for her dad.
But yeah, I mean, we're asking questions on or she was asking the questions. We didn't ask them. She's just holding the dowsing rods.
Right.
She got the answers. They both left all happy. They were good.
Yeah.
Everything was all good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the answers they wanted, and we're sitting there going, what the hell was that?
Right. Especially when you get those kind of responses. Yeah. So the interesting thing about this is
I'll tell her I'll send it.
Oh, you're sending it over to her? That's cool.
Yeah. Christopher, when he created it, didn't put on there the link to the show.
Oh. Are you sending her a link?
Yeah, I'll send her a link. But he just set it up on Facebook, did a real nice post and everything, but there's nowhere to click to watch it.
Yeah, that's what the last time, same thing. It was, we're streaming on these places. Okay.
Yep. So like I said, I'll take care of it.
No wonder.
Yeah.
We'll
get it all situated with everything.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's what, your second, third show?
Fifth.
Okay.
We're on the very beginning of our adventure.
Yes, you are.
I knew it was early.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I said, I figure
that hospital in Arkansas. That's what the hell is the name of it? Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's the one you're thinking of.
And you can say the name.
We're not allowed to say. No, we can't.
Oh, you can't now?
No.
You can only say
David Glidden can
say. Okay, okay. I thought everybody could say it.
No, by the signed agreement in the paperwork, you could say old hospital, old Southern Hospital. That's it.
Okay. Well, we know where you're at. We always wanted to go there and never got a chance to get in. It's very good, we heard.
It's very good.
And that was in the morgue where you had all
that was in the morgue area. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty exciting because they've been really doing a lot of work on it. When I first went there, asbestos was all over the floors.
Right.
The windows were cracked. Some of them were open. Now they've got a lot of the windows closed off, and that gives you a chance of really collecting some good EVPs. Yeah. So, in fact, you mentioned the spirit following. So I was late one of the tours and got there on the fourth floor and sat down, and all of a sudden on my recorder you hear my name whispered. So it was good that when you say that about could be a relative, it makes sense because my grandfather's always around when I'm at these places all the time. And one time someone said, I am not going in that room because it had a loud slapping noise. And I said, should I go in there? And I heard him say, I'm going to tell you no, but you're going to go anyway. So I think he's got to the point where he's just like cracking jokes with me at times, being a jokester, so to speak, because I don't pay attention to what he's trying to tell me anyway. So it's like, all right. Yeah.
Well, he figures you're going to do whatever you want anyway, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And who knows? For me, it's all about the guests, making sure they're taken care of, making sure they get served, and I'll handle, whatever else is coming our way.
That's how we were when we were doing tours at the Sally House. And hey, Cassie, and that's where we met Cassie. And so awesome. We always made sure everybody else had a great time. I mean, there were a couple times where we got there, we had driven the 90 miles up there, and we got there, and I was sick as a dog, and so I would lay down, and by the time people got there, you would never know that I was sick. I would be standing there just fine, making sure that they got all the information that they wanted, and I stood there for 4 hours and did it all, And so did he. Well, he missed one time because he couldn't have been there.
Yeah,
he was really sick. We got some bad orange juice at McDonald's.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, and so we were already in Atchison. We had spent the night, and I had to leave him at a friend's house.
Oh,
and we had, what was it? That was an 8-hour day. It was 4 hours there, and then there was a tour after, and it was horrible. But
I started to drink, and I thought, this is kind of warm. It should be cold orange juice, but I thought, well, McDonald's. No, I was puking all day.
And it always stays with your mind too when that happens.
Yeah. It haunted him for a long time.
Yeah, that's a haunt you don't want to have either.
And not to mention it
I
also.
don't think I started feeling better until like 4 o'clock,
yeah,
5 o'clock that day.
And it was still too late for you to come and do the other stuff.
Yeah, we had the whole day. We had stuff scheduled the whole day.
Oh,
and night.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. But back then, by the time we were done with 4 hours, we were exhausted because that house just drained the living daylights out of you.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, and then they would have us go around on a trolley tour, and it was called the Haunted Hop. And we would give them the Atchison tour.
Or a walking tour.
Yeah, we've done that too. And then we would have dinner at a haunted location and then go to 2 locations and investigate a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, one of those locations was always the Sally House. Yeah. So
and sometimes we helped out on the graveyard tour before we even started the Sally House in the afternoon.
Yeah, we would do the graveyard tour at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Or the walking tour around town.
That was fun. Those were fun.
Yeah.
So was it the Sally House just the Sally House itself that attracted you that way?
So
that you just got involved in that
what it did was we watched ghost stories on TV.
Yeah.
And we're watching
middle of the night.
And we had these on VHS tape.
Yeah.
Is what we did.
Yeah.
And so we would watch those and I would watch, a haunting in the middle of the night because I was, I had kids, I was nursing and I didn't want to, drown the kid in bed. So I would get up and I would go out there and turn on the TV, low, and I would nurse and watch the show.
Yeah.
And so one of the shows that I watched ended up being a haunting.
Yeah.
And it had the Sally House on there. Well, they were on sightings a bunch of times, and I had seen that. And I'd seen it was on a haunting twice, and it was on some other shows, and I'd seen it. So I was like, well, where is that? We lived in Kansas City, Missouri. I didn't know where Atchison was, and we didn't have computers and GPS and all that stuff. This was back in like 95, 96.
Okay.
Actually, it was actually in 93, to be honest. It was in 93, 94. Yeah. And so I'm watching it, and it's like, I want to go there someday. Another show we watched was, like I said, Ghost Stories, and McPike Mansion was on there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then another one was the Villisca Axe Murder Houses.
Right. Okay.
And so we're sitting there, and I look at him and I go, I want to go to all 3 of these places.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, Atchison's an hour and a half away. So I said, that's possible. I said, McPike is in Alton. That's just over the bridge, St. Louis, where I grew up. Cool. So I said, yeah, that's possible. But I said, Villisca, somewhere in Iowa. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Yeah. We didn't know. I didn't even look at it on the app.
Yeah. I didn't even look at the map or anything.
Yeah.
And so one day, we went and we did the tour of Alton, and I told him, I said, I know everything there is to know about this town, about Alton, Illinois. And I said, I need to find something closer to home.
Yeah.
So, back in 2009, we went on a tour of it, and we drove around town on the tour bus, and I took notes and all this. And then we went back and we did the Sally House the following weekend. And we also went to Villisca.
Oh, wow.
At another time, we went to a family reunion.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that we were going up there. And, if you remember the flooding back in, back in 2009, yes. We had to go a different route. We couldn't take the interstate. We couldn't take 29 up to the family reunion.
Yeah.
So we had to take this back road to get there. It's still a main road, but
it's still a better way.
It's still a better way. Yeah. But we get to Clarinda, and I look over at him and I go, how far is Villisca from here? I said, we've got to find out. And it can't, I said, and he looks at me and he goes, it had to be north because my cousins would have talked about this place because that's the stuff we would have done.
Anywhere near here.
Right.
And I no sooner said that, see a sign, Villisca 9 miles. And I went, what? Did that just say Villisca?
So
I said, well, I'm counting about 9 miles. If it says Villisca, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go find a house.
Yeah.
So we did. We went.
Yeah.
We went, and I took a picture. And on Sunday of that, after the family reunion, we went there. And little did we know at that time that the Villisca Axe Murder House and the Sally House have the same address.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And so, and the houses were built at similar times as well.
Right.
So it was kind of weird, but we didn't know about the family connection to the Villisca Axe Murder House at the time that Ron's great uncle was the sheriff in the investigation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we didn't know that. So we had probably, and anybody who heard me talk last week about this, it was probably one of the best tours we ever got because we got it from Darwin Lynn, the guy who bought the house and saved it from being torn down.
Wow.
And so he is, I mean, you can count him as being the guy to get the paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the perfect model. I mean, the place was booked all but 8 days a year.
Yeah.
You know, you could not, I mean, you had to book yourself in there. Well, I mean, it's a year wait. It may not be now, but it was then.
Yeah.
And that
it's
right
still,
there.
It's still hard to get in.
Yeah, it's still hard to get in.
It's a little house. I mean, it's
not even 1,000 square feet.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's basically 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bedroom, a kitchen, dining room, or bedroom, kitchen, and living room downstairs.
Yeah, you talk about some serious capabilities, and you're making a small house like that be that popular.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, he had
art.
Well, he had Chad Kalick and Ryan Buell came through when they did the filming of American Ghost Hunter.
Yeah.
They had, and that had just happened when we went the very first time, and we've been 4 or 5 times at this point. We've never stayed the night.
Just been there during the day, and one time we were there with our daughters, and we were downstairs, and our other daughter Lauren was upstairs. She was by herself. The attic where they think the suspected killer or killers, they don't know, where they're hiding out. They almost had to come from the attic, you know, to kill the father and then the mother, and then because that room there, if they got them, then the kids' room it's blocked off. They can't get through there.
Yeah.
But the door from the attic, if you're in the attic, the door opens out. The door was already open to the attic at that time, and Lauren was up in the parents' room. She said she saw a dark shadow come from the kids' room.
Yeah.
The dark shadow crossed in front of the door, and then the door shut behind it.
Wow.
The attic door.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had told people, I said, yeah, she saw the door shut, and it slowly shut. It wasn't slam or anything, but if there's any kind of air pressure, it would go out.
Right.
From the attic.
Yes.
It wouldn't normally go the way that it did.
Right. Right.
But like she said, she also saw the shadow come out of that room and go right in front of the door, and then it closed behind it.
The look on her face was
she was a little shook up.
But
sounds
like, are you okay? She goes, I don't know.
But go back and watch the Ghost Adventures when they say that the closet door.
Yeah, that was in the kids' room. That was
in the kids' room.
Okay.
The thing is I walked into that closet and I looked up and there were holes in the rafter, and it's like, no wonder the door's moving.
Yeah, that's in the kids' room in the closet. This is the attic door. It's a pretty stout door.
Well, back then you could feel the pressure change when you close the door and stuff. The roof is fixed now, so if it does it now, it might mean something else. Right. But it was just very strange. That they kept making a big deal out of this when all you had to do was this, and you knew that there was air moving in there.
Yeah.
But the last time we went, we had a really good. It was fun. We had been asking questions, and every time we went, we asked the same question. Same question.
Did you go through the same pattern?
Yep.
And
got same answers every time.
We asked the kids what their favorite toys were. And, we got the answers, doll, this, that. And one kept saying monkey. And we looked everywhere for that damn monkey. Everywhere. So we opened up the attic, and Martha had the attic shut off to where you couldn't go in there. You could open the door, but you couldn't go into the attic. So we opened the door, and sitting on the chair is this monkey.
Wow.
So I went downstairs and I told Johnny, I said, the kids want their monkey. And
I don't know what they're talking about. That's just what.
Yes, that's the things.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, it's in the attic. I said, if you could take that out and put it in the kids' room, I said, that would make somebody happy. I said, I don't know which one, but it will make somebody happy. But it was just a funny thing that happened that we didn't count on. It's just, why would you count on something coming through?
Right.
That was relevant.
Yeah. I think the good thing
through the spirit box, not the spirit box, but the echo box that he had. And
I kept saying monkey.
Yeah. But I think that's a perfect example of those moments that are like the big fish when you fish. It's that big moment where you can't deny something paranormal occurred and there's communication.
Yeah.
Well, we were up there, I think the second or third time. There was a group out in Nebraska that we met. They call us. They said, we've never been up there. It's like, we'll get in during the day. Yeah. We were going up that way anyway. So they came up there, the husband and wife and a friend of theirs that was in the group. Yeah. So they'd never been in there. They knew about the house and everything.
Right.
They go in there. Everything's fine. We're in the kitchen. I said, yeah, this is the kitchen. Here's the living room. Not really ain't too much went on there. And there was a lot of people upstairs. I said, it's crowded up there. I said, let's wait till some people leave. And I said, we can hang out down here. And I said, and then we can go, I talked about, the house and everything in the living room.
Yeah.
And they asked a couple more questions, and then they started taking pictures. And I stuck my head in where the two girls were murdered. The girls that were spending the night, Stillinger girls.
Yeah, the downstairs bedroom.
Yeah. That was the downstairs bedroom. I stuck my head in there. There's a few people in there, and it's really small. Yeah. And I said, we'll wait until they leave. And they said, oh, okay, no problem. They're taking pictures. So the people step out of the room, and I said, okay, it's all clear now. I go in there. The first guy walks in. He goes, wow, this room is really small. And I said, yeah. I said, I know. He starts taking pictures. The other guy, he walks in there, and I swear I was looking right at him. He walks in, looks like that, and just starts bawling his eyes out.
Wow.
And I thought, I looked at each other, I'm like, what's going on? He just crying. He's just looking around and just bawling like crazy. And I said, well, let's get him out of here. So we pull him out in the living room. He's wiping his eyes, and he goes, what? What's going on? I said, are you serious? He goes, what? What do you mean? I you walked in the room, started crying. He goes, no, I didn't. Wow. I went, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I said, oh, man, if it hit him that hard, I said, yeah, we better go outside and regroup.
Yeah.
We got him back in there. He was okay after that. But I said, what happened? He goes, I walked in that room, and he goes, I thought I saw two little girls. And he said, I was just overcome with fear.
Wow.
I mean, for my life.
Yeah.
And for theirs. And I went, wow.
Yeah. It's those moments where you have a situation where
you don't expect it.
Yeah. Well, it's when someone picks up evidence that's there and you didn't share it with them. They just went through the process of literally experiencing something which validates the facts of the history of the place. Those kind of fascinations amaze me. Not only from a standpoint of being a person who might experience it, but a person who watched someone else experience it. It's just that evidence And I love those moments where you just get an experience that goes ta-da every time.
Yeah, I like it when that happens to the skeptics.
Yes. Oh, those are my favorites.
So, but we have so many experiences at the Villisca Axe Murder House. It's hard to keep them all straight.
Really?
But one time we were, so back in the day, not now, but back in the day, you could show up there at 1 o'clock, pay your $10 and stay until 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it's only 3 hours,
We did.
but you could stay there the whole 3 hours and not leave. And it was.
Yeah. Darwin wouldn't run us out.
Yeah.
Johnny
Didn't care.
He said, "Hey, you paid for the 3 hours, as far as I know."
Right.
So, so we were in there, and the same time that this was happening with these people, I'm not going to give you their names.
Yeah, I didn't. Use it.
It is so easy to want to say it. It's like no.
I know.
No, actually, I just don't have anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say it. But we went upstairs, and there were a bunch of kids there from the local, schools in the area that had never been there before, and they were just, walking through the house, and they were kind of bored, and so we had equipment.
We gave them a Ouija board.
No, we did not.
Okay.
We taught them how to use dowsing rods, is what we did.
Yeah.
We showed them the K2 meter. We showed them the Mel meter. We showed them the ghost meter, all this stuff. And we taught them, because we were doing tours at the Sally House. We were used to it.
Yeah.
This is what you do. You try to help everybody have an experience wherever they're having paranormal stuff.
Right.
Every place we go, we become their spirit guides and help them have a paranormal experience, hopefully. Yeah. So we taught these children this. What's funny is that, talking about debunking, so the Villisca Axe Murder House has the windows like the Amityville house.
Right.
And you could go, at that time, you could go into the attic.
Yeah.
And this young man, he went and he looked out the window just at the time that the weeping guy took a picture. And he swore up and down that he saw a demon in the window. Mm-hmm. And I had to grab the kid and bring him to him.
I had to tell him I was up.
Yeah.
I was up in the attic.
Yeah,
I was in the parents' room. They had the door open. I could see the kid in the attic. I saw him looking out there.
But I grabbed the kid and I brought him to him and I said, does your demon look like this? And he goes,
he still didn't believe it. But.
Yeah, he didn't believe it. But anytime he shared that picture, I said, you know what I told you? It was this kid.
Yeah.
And, and so I took a picture of that kid at that time. And I said, okay, if you're going to continue to think that this is paranormal, I'm going to have a picture of this kid to debunk it.
Right.
So I just I didn't want them to say that there was a demon in there.
Right.
Was there something there? Yes, there was something there. We could guarantee that every time we went there for 2 weeks, I was pissed off at the world.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And I don't know if I was channeling the mother or one of the children, but something would happen and that was it. Yeah. I also, we also went to the Missouri State Pen where this guy did time for axing his mother and grandmother in Jefferson City in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
Same time. And the murder stopped when he went to jail. So, when you go through all this stuff about all the people that they thought could do it, this guy actually did it.
Yeah.
He actually did kill somebody with an axe.
And the axe murders did stop. There were, during that time, there was axe murders in Colorado, Illinois, Kansas.
Missouri.
In fact, they did payola, like, what was it?
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days before Villisca.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, there was, Kansas. Oh, it was a few in Kansas.
Yeah.
And, what did it say? Illinois.
So basically from Colorado to the Indiana.
For it was about 2 years. And all these locations were right by a railroad.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy worked for the railroad. So he had access. He can get, on and off a train.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these murders happen right by, close to railroad tracks. In fact, the Paola one is, God, I can't believe they built houses that close to a railroad track.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We lived there.
Little bitty houses.
We lived there 20 years before I took him over there to show him.
Yeah, we went over there. It's a rental house, but no one is in there very long.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw a for sale sign on it, and then it's back for rent.
Yeah.
They couldn't sell it. Then somebody get in there, you see them, doing some work. You see some, old plywood and wood out in the front yard, and then got some new paint on the outside. But I drive by there every now and then, but I never see a car there.
Wow.
I mean, it still doesn't look like anyone's living in it.
Yeah.
If they do, it's not long.
Yeah, it was about 17 miles from our old
But
house.
it's not highly advertised. This was the murder house.
Right.
No, in fact, there's a lot of no trespassing signs, and
Yeah.
Miami County, Kansas didn't take too kindly to being, having an active
Yeah, we
house.
brought it up. We were actually at the courthouse.
Yeah, we were there.
Oh, yeah?
We brought it up, and they're like, "We don't know what you're talking about."
Oh,
And the lady walks away.
yeah.
Wow.
Like, I think you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Judging
it's
by
in the
his body
history of
language.
Oh, that house burned down. Yeah, we've heard, it burned down. All kinds of stories.
it was torn down, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I pulled up Zillow, it told me when the house was built, and then I have all the facts right here, and they're like, no, that's not the house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it says in the paper
But that
the
one
exact
was,
address.
Everything says it is, yet you're telling me it's not. Yeah.
the payola one, that particular one, that was actually a paid killing.
Really?
They think he actually got paid to do that one.
Yeah, they paid to kill the wife.
I
And
think
then-
on some of these other ones, he might have got paid too, but then on the other,
Yeah.
the other half, they think he just enjoyed it
Yeah.
Right.
and was doing it, out of his own free will.
So in the
Oh,
payola one,
Yeah,
what was strange is that the husband was paying the guy to kill his wife, and he changed his mind. But because he had seen him, he went ahead and
they
got
get
rid
rid
of both of them. And then 4 days
Wow.
later, he's in Villisca, and there's, here's the worst unsolved crime in their history.
Right.
Miami County, this was their worst unsolved crime there, and this just kept going.
That's what 1912.
Yeah. So needless to say,
Oh,
this
wow.
guy, when he did this stuff to his, his family, and he went to jail, well, they let him out with good behavior later on, and on his deathbed. Well, I mean, he was sick. He was dying.
Oh, okay.
He went
I
to
thought,
St. Louis,
yeah.
and he was in a halfway house there, or a I don't even vagrant house, I guess, something like that. He was in this house, and he claimed to have killed more than 50 people, and they did not take his deathbed confession as being factual.
Now,
Wow. Yeah.
when we were in Villisca, we didn't even know all
All
of
of
that until a lot later on. Like
Wow.
second time we were there, one of the questions we were asking with the dowsing rods, how many people did you kill? Was it under 5?
Yeah.
Got a no. Under 10? No. Over 10? Yes. Over 20? Yes. Over 30? Yes. Over
Wow.
40, and then we got the 50. Over 50? Yes. We said, was it over 60? A slow no. Like,
wow.
I wish I could have got there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was. It said over. I said between 50 and 60, and
And
it said yeah.
The
I'm
crazy
like,
part
damn.
about the crazy
And then
part,
we find this out.
Yeah.
I mean, years later, about that this guy claimed he killed over 50.
And
Yeah.
his name just happened to be Henry Moore.
wow.
And the family he killed were the Moore family
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the Stillingers. And one other thing that we found out when we did the graveyard tour, when
Yeah.
went over and walked around the graveyard,
Yeah.
is that Lena and Ina's mother was pregnant. Her baby was stillborn that day.
Yeah,
And she
she-
found out that her children had
Wow.
been killed. So not only was it this many people, add 1.
Yeah.
So it was 9 instead of, 8.
Yeah. Right.
So that's the part that a lot of people don't realize is that as bad as it was,
Yeah.
it was, not only did she lose her 2 children, she lost a third one that she
Right.
never even got to hold.
Yeah.
So that part there is sad.
Yeah.
But and then you go to see their graves, and it's one big long stone with their names on it.
Wow.
For, for the Moore family.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the rumors that Josiah Moore was actually having an affair with somebody, and that it was somebody else's body in the bed, and things like that. I don't know, but I'll tell you that when we went there and we got our very first tour from Darwin, he was very animated, just like he was on the most terrifying, not most terrifying places, the scariest places in America, or most terrifying places in America.
Yeah.
Where he takes the axe and puts it up and then down, and he shows where the hole isn't, where it hit the ceiling.
Yes, where he shows. Yes.
He was very animated about that. So, to this day, I still remember that. And it was one of the best things, was when he passed away. Not that many people could say they had this memory.
Yeah, it was down in their downtown square is where you had to go, to pay to go up to the house.
Okay.
And he was there, giving the spiel and everything. And I said, we just came back from family reunion, found out my great uncle, and he's like, was the sheriff. He's like, oh, no. He goes, hang on. He grabs the book and starts showing us pictures and everything. There he is right there. And then he got all excited.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he looks around and we're the only ones in there. He goes, you know what? He goes, I actually have the actual axe. And I said, what? He goes, a lot of people don't know that, but he goes, I actually have the actual one. The one that your great uncle took to the trial. He didn't have the actual one on him. So he just stopped at a hardware store and bought one.
Wow.
Because that's how I got the actual one.
Which is awesome.
He just had to bring one. They just had to show some kind of axe. But,
right. They needed to give an example of.
Yeah, they didn't have forensics back then. The test for blood, or handprints.
Right. Yeah. It's more of a sample to say this is what it looked like.
Wasn't that big a deal then?
And hey, Carl. So we've had, like I said, we have a lot of neat stories about different places.
Yeah.
We've had.
Do you do your group? You guys do a lot of graveyards? Just
no.
Oh, you don't?
That group, no, they don't.
In
fact, they never do.
Oh wow! Yeah, we've got some really good stuff.
So
we used to help Liz Lane do graveyard tours up in Atchison.
That's cool.
And we learned out a lot because she knew about the history, the different stones and that. I had no idea.
Yeah, iconology.
Yeah, iconology.
Oh, okay.
And we were with, we were actually people herders. Then she said, bring all your dowsing rods. She goes, I got some stuff I want to ask you guys, or, with the dowsing rods. Didn't know what she wanted.
Yeah.
We had 20 people or so?
Oh, it had to be
at least.
Yeah.
And, we go out there. She goes to the first one. She's talking about it and everything. Go to the next stone. She talks about it. And then she goes, okay, on this next one, she goes, Denise, I want you to get those dowsing rods out. I got some questions I need to ask. So Denise like, okay. Yeah. So she goes, she says, this is how the dowsing rods work. We're showing everybody. And anyway, she's asking these questions. And Liz goes, oh my gosh, that's, you just nailed it. And, the other people there didn't know really what she was asking about. We didn't either.
Yeah.
So I got a handful of these things because Angie had them at the Chamber of Commerce. She said, take a whole bunch and see if people want to use them. Yeah. So after we got done with that, I said, if you want to learn how to do it, I'll hand some out. And, we showed them and everything.
Yeah.
And there was a couple that every time we moved, they were always lagging way behind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we were people herders, so I had kind of stay behind them and kind of push them forward.
Right.
But they're always lagging way behind. And I said, do you want a set? And the guy goes, yeah, I guess. So he grabs them. Everybody else is playing around, asking questions. He's just walking around. Him and his wife were just joking around back there.
Yeah.
So we go around the whole graveyard. We get toward the back part, and she's telling a story about these two politicians that hated each other in real life. They actually buried them next to each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she goes, yeah. So Denise got the dowsing rods, and she goes, She goes, do you guys still hate each other? That thing went snap. Yes. And I went, wow. And these people, they hadn't said a word hardly, just to each other. They started laughing. So anyway, they get done with that and they move on, except for these two people. They're laying back. And this guy's just sitting there looking at these dowsing rods. And I said, well, come on, we need to kind of catch up with him. He goes, hang on, I'm thinking of some questions.
It was husband and wife were buried there.
I said, do you know somebody who's buried out here? You want to ask some questions? He goes, no, I don't know anyone out here. And he walks up. There's a husband and wife. He holds the dowsing rods. He goes like this. And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, just ask a question. He goes, okay. Mr. Johnson, did you ever mess around on your wife? Yes. Mrs. Johnson, did you know that Mr. Johnson messed around on you? Nope. He goes, oh, Mr. Johnson, you're in a lot of trouble, aren't you? I laughed my ass off because I did not think these people had any sense of humor at all. Yeah. And he's just having fun. He's just going around asking all kinds. He goes, this is great.
Yeah. Nobody was resting.
I said, come on.
In that graveyard that night.
Oh man. He was stirring it up.
That's so funny too, because sometimes your questions, the oddest questions work.
I didn't expect that at all. I just, like I said, they were really, really quiet. They just kind of whispered to each other and hung out in the back. And I thought, oh, okay.
So in October, there was always a week where they would have huge events. You know,
everything.
They would have a whole bunch of mediums in, and
that was that week.
And it was that week, so we had to be there like at 9 o'clock in the morning for the first tour. We did the Sally House, and at some point in there, I had to be at this other place to lead people to the mediums for their reading.
Split us up to help everybody.
You know, and so next thing I know, I'm coming back to the Sally House. And of course, these are all the people that we've already met at this tour or this tour. And, you know, I'm still friends with a lot of these people that we met at that point. But it was just so funny that they go, don't they have other people? Are you guys the only ones that work here?
Yeah.
And I go, we don't work here. I said, we're volunteers. We don't get paid a dime.
Right.
And they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're working you guys.
So why do you do it? I was like, well, this is fun. I worked for Coinstar. I was traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
And I would be out in Topeka. I'd be working on a machine. And all of a sudden I have someone tap me on the shoulder like, I know you from the Sally House. Yeah, we're ready to go. It was usually in the off season. They're like, we're ready to go back again next year. And I was like, oh, good. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, we did 7 years. It was great.
Yeah, I ran into people all over the place.
Yeah, me too. And after I was on Ghost Adventures, it was really weird. But
I bet you ran in a lot of people in a lot more.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I had my glasses on, if I was like this, people would recognize me. But but most of the time, my glasses are up here, so I would be sitting there talking, and they go, "Well, where's the lady that was on Ghost Adventures?"
There she is.
So I go, and they go, "No, that's not her." And I'm like, "It is her. It's me." I had to show pictures from my cell phone to go see it's me.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, we had a lot of those. I mean, we were talking about, I had a heart doctor in Kansas City.
Yeah.
He would come in there. I swear that he would finish up with his patient so he could come in there and ask me, what paranormal stuff have you guys been doing? Where have you been going? And I swear he would do that. He wouldn't let me leave until he saw me to talk to me.
Oh man.
So I don't know. It was always fun. That was one of the things. So like you're leading tours. Isn't that the best part? Getting to meet all these people and getting to know them?
There's so much benefit to it. It's kind of, I told somebody else, said, coaching sports helps you as an athlete because you get to perfect everything. And when you're doing tours, it's the same thing. You get to discover questions to ask, equipment that you might not have ever seen before because somebody brings it with them. You get to watch the skeptic suddenly go, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love those moments. Those are probably my favorite ones. Yeah, but you get that chance to experience. It's also a newness. You know, like I went through a phase where I was going through burnout because we were doing tour. Well, I started volunteering for Overholser Mansion in Oklahoma City for, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 years, maybe more. But during that time, leading tours, just doing historical tours, you always had someone ask you about, you know, is it haunted? Is it active? You know, watching people either go in with their little phones and the facial recognition, you know, or different things they do. Or I loved watching the ones that were subtle. Like they didn't really, you know, they didn't know the rules, but they'd carry something with them. I always love those too. But I love watching that. Those people kept me motivated to continue doing tours and continue investigating because there's always something new. Did you ever find?
It's fun. Yeah. We had a lot. I mean, we did it for 7 years. It was every weekend from Labor Day through middle of November.
Yeah.
And then we would have people come in and want to do overnights at the Sally House. And we would go up there for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We would spend about 600 hours a year.
Lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you know, we're also volunteers at McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois.
Yep. Yeah,
and
I saw that in your profile information.
Yep. And
that's a great
like
place.
I said, I've now been to all those places that I started out saying, and I'm on a first name basis with these different people related to it. Yeah. And you know, at the Villisca Axe Murder House, where, you know, we're good friends with Johnny, or at least I think we are. I don't know. Martha, maybe not. But you know,
Johnny,
but you know, it's amazing the friendships we've made over time. Yeah. And I wouldn't trade those for anything. It's the same as having my show. Yeah. I made so many friends because of the Paranormal Pride.
Yeah.
And you know, every place we go, I can almost guarantee that I'm going to, you know, if I tell them that I'm coming, they want to come and meet me. And if there's somebody even coming close, we will go and meet them somewhere just to make sure. In fact, we had a friend that came all the way from Houston to Alta Vista, Kansas.
Yeah.
And she met us in Atchison. Well, the thing is Ron was working up there. Me, I just took the day off and went with him. Yeah. But the thing was I just happened to ask him that morning. I said, do you need to go to Atchison today? And
she almost never, I mean, I'm going anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
She almost never asked me what direction I was even headed that day. I didn't even know till, you know, I woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
Most of the time I didn't know where I was going. But she happened to ask me that morning.
Because I was like, why? I'm going to go.
Probably heading up toward Atchison, I don't know, maybe Topeka in that area. She goes, I want to meet
one of my listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Her name was Katrina Cooper, or is Katrina Cooper. She's a medium. Yeah. And she works with the Kling brothers for a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
But at the time she didn't. You know, I just started doing my show and I I liked her a lot. And I said, she's coming to town. Can I go with you so that I don't have to drive up there? Yeah. And so he wasn't all that keen on it. Yeah. Well, she impressed him because he was a skeptic of mediums.
Right.
And of course, then he still didn't know how much I knew about being a medium. I still hadn't shared as much as I could with him. So it was a very strange meeting for him.
No, she can't read me at all.
Yeah.
Nah, I can tell when he's pissed. But that's a psychic thing. I'm not psychic.
Right.
It's a white.
Well, but not only that, but it's also as mediums, the challenge is those that are close around you too, and picking up those things. When they're really close, you can
that's what
interpret.
Yeah, they said they're harder to do.
Yeah. And I try not to do that. It's one of those things that you just don't read the people closest to you because you could be prying into something that's not your business.
Right.
And I don't want to do that ever. I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm reading something into nothing, because it could be nothing.
Yeah.
So, but we've had different things. We were at a family event a few years ago, and I'm sitting there and I'm just getting sicker and sicker to my stomach. I'm feeling bad. And he goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "There's a guy here. He died." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, there's a guy here. He's dead." I said, "Something with his heart." And Ron's mom, Karen, she goes, "That lady over there, her husband died suddenly from a heart attack."
Wow.
And I don't know.
We didn't know who she was.
Yeah. And she goes, "I would want to know if you were getting a message." So she had me go over to her, and this lady had already been to multiple mediums who never picked up anything about her husband.
Been gone, 3 months?
Yeah. And I told her,
wasn't that long.
But she goes, "Well, what's he telling me?" I said, "He told you to stop spending his money." And she was like, she goes, because she had just had a bunch of the house redone.
Oh yeah.
And I said, he didn't say stop spending money. He said stop spending his money.
Oh.
And he goes, "That's exactly what he would say." So needless to say, it was, she started crying, but only because of the fact that she said, "Everybody keeps picking up on my mother." And I said, "They're not picking up on your mother." I said, "They just assume because of your age that your mother has passed."
Right.
Yeah.
And if she was, I said, if they were picking up on her, what kind of questions did they ask you first?
Yeah.
I said, "You don't answer any question when you go to see a medium. You don't answer any questions until it's all over."
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be asking questions other than,
what do you get?
What's your name? And that's it.
Yeah.
What's your name so I can talk to you? But other than that, no medium should be asking you questions about favorite color or does this mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Don't let them touch you. That's another thing. Don't let them touch your hands or your shoulders or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do when you're having a mediumship reading is if you're doing it remotely, like on a Zoom call or something.
I don't know how they do that.
Go to your avatar.
Yeah.
Don't let them see your face and mute yourself so that.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Because of the fact that you give away signals.
Yeah.
When they've guessed right.
Yeah.
Am I saying that all mediums are guessing? No, I'm not. If you want a valid reading, that's what you're going to do.
A lot of them that are doing it for money are very good people readers.
Yeah.
I mean,
they can read your body language.
Yeah.
They can read. If I said something to you about your dad or your grandfather, and you kind of go, "Okay, so I already know that he's dead."
Right.
Because you're sitting. So I'm horrible to read.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I know what people are looking for. So I just sit there.
Yeah.
I had one real good medium read my sister, and we were on a show. It wasn't video at the time.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't my sister. It was my niece.
Yeah.
And she's talking to her, and she goes, "He said it was an accident.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to die." And of course, I started crying because I knew who she was talking about.
Yeah.
And this medium had no clue who she was reading because I scheduled it. I did not give her any last names.
No names or nothing.
There was nothing in advance.
Yeah.
Not a thing. Okay. So she said this. Sarah's dad had died of an overdose.
Oh, wow.
And my sister Donna had found him. Well, not only that, I wanted Donna couldn't be there.
Yeah.
So the medium offered to give Donna a reading. Okay. Donna and I don't have the same last name. I don't share my maiden name. Donna doesn't go by her maiden name. So you can't put us together.
Wow.
And she told Donna we were on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And she said, Donna, she goes, "I don't understand this." She goes, but this person is really in tune with their feet, keeps looking at their feet. And I was like, that's odd. I said, but I told Donna afterwards, I said, PJ was 4 months old. He was big into his feet at that point when he passed away.
Yeah. Wow.
And she had told Donna that he was little, but he was showing himself as he would have been then if he had survived. He was showing himself as being, 30-year-old at the time. But yes, he was still infatuated with his feet. And she told Donna the color of his shoes, and Donna still has those shoes.
Wow.
And so for my sister, everything she told her about PJ and Pete was amazing. The thing is the medium didn't put together that Donna and Sarah were family.
Right.
But she didn't know that Pete was Donna's husband and didn't know that Pete was Sarah's dad. Yeah. So, but she said that this guy looks familiar, and told her all kinds, said a lot of stuff that made sense to Donna. Yeah. And Donna has been to see Teresa Cavuto, I don't know how many times. Yeah. And they never got picked, Yeah. And it's sad, so needless to say, those big gallery reading things, unless everybody's getting read, it's a waste of time. Even though I know people love going. Right. I'm not going to tell them not to go. Right. But I just wouldn't go. But I know I won't get read. Right. You're not going to read me. I got this little dome that says I'm not going to get read.
But it's tough too in those situations. The paranormal world itself is so tough because you have certain circumstances that you have to kind of respect, even though your mind might doubt it, because we have no proof either way. So in those situations with big groups, there are some that are just using their analytical skills to pick up on things. And there are some that are gifted that can do it, like you mentioned, without seeing it, right? So the hard part is in those big groups, you're going to have only very few people get chosen. And the hard part about it for me is I tend to be a cynic. If I'm in a big group, I'm going to think, why are you picking only those people? Like I'm going to automatically get cynical and paranoid almost. And I have to step myself out of that. Yeah, John Edwards.
He got in a lot of trouble.
No.
Yeah. And he's back to doing stuff.
Yeah, he's back.
Is he really? Because I heard he was doing doing
stuff in Kansas City.
Okay, because I knew he was doing a lot of education and helping other people develop their gifts, but I didn't realize he was going back into it again.
Yeah, he did a bunch of gallery readings in Kansas City a couple years ago and last year. And the thing is when you've got to perform to keep the people coming.
You do, yes.
I feel bad for that, but it's kind of like Jeff Lynne and the ELO, right. That he was lip syncing his own music. It wasn't Milli Vanilli, Right. They got tired. Their voice got sore. But is it the same thing? No, because he was being fed information. And, if you're going to go to one of these gallery readings like that, pay cash. Yeah. Because with your credit card, they can find out everything about you.
Yeah. Very true.
But yeah, it's always interesting to see what people get that's valid.
Yeah, John Edwards amazed me too. When people ask me about, how do you pick up on things or how do you sense things, I always explain to them it's kind of like a tuning fork. And if you watch John Edwards, he does that. Yeah. He tunes in to find what it is. Who's communicating to me? How are they communicating? Is it my own spirit? Is it for somebody else? And you can watch him go through it. And once he finds it, he'll go 95 miles an hour talking because he's collecting and sending it out to you as fast as possible. Yeah. So that's what I always tell people. You have to get yourself tuned in once you get tuned in and you got everything narrowed down to that right process and that right pattern, you can go. But I said, so when you hear that stammer or that trying to figure it out kind of thing, it's really connecting and getting yourself connected right sometimes in the situations.
Yeah. Check out Andy Myers out of Omaha.
Okay.
He is he was doing readings on the Kansas City radio stations.
Okay.
Back when I listened to mainstream radio.
Yeah.
And he was always, I haven't listened to mainstream radio.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. And so he's always really good. I've been trying to get him on my show forever, but he's popular. So it's hard to do, but he's pretty good to listen to. I've never seen him in person though.
Yeah.
There's Joe Boxall. He says, hey, from Maryland. Okay. When we met him, he was living in Atchison.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the first time we met him was at Sally House.
He was a tour guide.
Denise hadn't even seen him yet.
Yeah.
She heard him talk and she goes, who's that talking? I said, that's that guy over there. She goes, he's from Baltimore. I was like, how do you know? She goes, I know. She goes, walks right over to him. You're from Baltimore, right? Yeah. How'd you know?
Well, he said Glen Burnie. He said Glen Burnie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still the same area. So, and what's funny is when I married Ron, I was living in Glen Burnie.
Okay.
So it was, again, another reason why doing tours and the paranormal stuff is great. Yeah. Because yes, we know you hate that cursed town.
Yeah, that town is something. It's way off. There's something. It is. It's a weird town.
It is, and I do believe it's cursed.
Yeah, it's something's going on there. I don't know what.
Yeah.
We can spend all day talking
the
about
population keeps dropping.
Which is interesting. Oklahoma happens a lot. If it's a train town that's not big, it's going to decrease.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And they even build train chassis.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's open.
Wow.
Yeah, their booze plant that closed up.
Yep, that went to Indiana.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think their steel plant. I think it's probably shut down too.
Yeah, they had a distillery there, MGP.
Okay.
And they sent that back to Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Oh wow.
So all of the stuff that was being distilled there is now distilled in Indiana. So that was just one more nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
So, but when we were all there together, we had so much fun.
Yeah, we had some great times.
That's awesome. Those are the greatest times. It's not just the people you're leading tours in; it's the people that you volunteer with and you work with.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's the overall social thing. It's the connections you gain from doing that kind of work, which I miss.
He did the trolley tours.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, all day. Just
and people
barely have time to eat.
Yeah,
and go and do the next one. They did it from 11 almost all night.
We missed you too, Joe. So
yeah, when you coming down?
Well,
we may be going up. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going somewhere. Yeah, we're trying to make plans to go do something for our 40th wedding anniversary.
Awesome. Any ideas where you guys want to go?
We're looking at.
I don't know.
We're looking at it's St. George Island.
It's got to be in beach. It's got to have beaches. So
yeah,
I already knew that.
Of course.
Well, it's either that or
we haven't even been to a beach in a week. I don't know, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how it is when you're in Florida and you're not near the beach? You don't.
Yeah.
You don't think.
I haven't been there in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's not in our backyard.
Right.
Hey, wait till I get a boat.
Oh,
then we'll see how much we go. Yeah. It'll be even more.
Yeah, it's funny. Aaron posted. It's funny how like my friends when I lived in Atlanta, they go boating and fishing, and they're like, "Oh, I caught an 8-pound bass." You got there to deep sea fishing, that's nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah.
Like, and the boats, the ones we rode in the lake were nothing compared to the ones out there. Yeah, it was always funny. Well, we are 10 minutes outside of our time.
Okay.
Regarding the time frame, I welcome talking more. If you want to keep talking, don't care. We're having a good time shooting the breeze anyway. But I want to follow my times, I guess, pretty much right on the dots as much as I can, really, because that way we keep the hour going.
Yeah, I understand.
That's fine.
It's one of those things that you're being very cognizant of our time.
Yep.
So,
what do you say? Do you get it? Here you go.
Mothman. They spotted everywhere. There's lots of drinking and drugs.
Joe says come to Maryland or South Carolina.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know where in South Carolina.
We're going to South Carolina in
where?
a couple weeks.
Well, that's to pick up a couple kids, or kid and grandkids.
Yep. Wow. So that's a whole different thing, but it is what it is. So, well, you know what, guys? Join me on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central for the Paranormal Pride on the Bill of Rights Network, plus, you know, the Paranormal Pride pages, whether it's on
Myrtle Beach. Ooh, yeah, that'd be good.
Whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. So join me there. On Tuesday nights, you can join me, Ron, and Carl from 5 p.m. Central on the Bill of Rights and the Paranormal Pride YouTube page. And on Monday, my guest is going to be Christopher Houston. I know I said I didn't have a show this Monday, but I do. I moved things around. So I got Chris Houston. Awesome. And don't know who our guest is going to be on Tuesday, but it'll be somebody great, just like it always is. So make sure you find the Paranormal Pride and follow it, and we'll tell you where we're going.
Yep, definitely so. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll get together again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for visiting. I'm glad everybody had a chance to communicate with us too. Feel free to come back. We're here Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. I don't know, Jack, Chris, when they're going to be here, when they're not, or me. We'll find out. But we'll be happy to chat with you again. Take care. Thank you.
See you. Cat's bugging.